The Oxford Dictionary describes horror as an intense feeling of fear, shock, or disgust. And whether it's Large Marge in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, or the Ark being opened in Raiders of the Lost Ark, horror can spring up in all sorts of genres. Those moments that excite you and work as an entry point for the true world of horror. Today, we're looking at a film that checks all the boxes. Fear, shock, and even disgust. Because we're revisiting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and why it's the perfect entry into the world of horror.
Nice hearing from you, Carlos.
Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, Michelangelo. Like most 90s kids, I had an unhealthy obsession with the Ninja Turtles. I watched it all the time and wanted to start karate lessons immediately. But what always stood out to me was the first live-action film. Sure, the other ones were decidedly more silly and filled with jokes.
Ninja pizza?
Pizza that vanished quickly without trace.
But there was something about this dark, gritty take on my beloved Turtles that I just couldn't turn away from. So now that I'm older and we have a whole new generation of Turtles fans, I thought it'd be interesting to spotlight the film in hopes of introducing this darker version to a new audience. Because boy, is it dark. The film itself released in 1990, but it still has that 80s grime to it, especially with its New York setting. And as much as the Turtles provide humor, we're also getting a look at a more grounded reality. Sure, Mikey may say a quip over pizza, but the next scene has April talking to her boss about police corruption. All while young Danny is stealing money right out of April's purse. It's no wonder so many of us turned out a little wonky when this was considered children's entertainment. While Turtles isn't exactly a horror movie, it's sure got some pretty darn horrific elements. And I'd say they work as the building blocks to making a good lover of the macabre. So let's get into why. Fear. There are many moments that could help to establish this one. The very beginning of the film shows New York City as this crime-riddled world. It's so bad that even someone who's reporting on the crimes is targeted for the mere mention. If that's not some kind of dystopian hellscape to be afraid of, then I'm not sure what is. The Foot Clan is built up of a bunch of young men, all led by Oroku Saki, aka Shredder. These scenes with Shredder are terrifying. Sure, it kind of looks like he's wearing a garbage bag as a cape, but those damn shoulder blades look so unbelievably badass. The demeanor of an entire room changes when he enters it. He's not someone that you want to meet in an alley, that's for sure, and I was scared to death of him as a kid. He shot in such an intimidating way that I couldn't help but be stunned, but also intrigued by his violent outbursts and desire for revenge. The seeds were definitely being planted.
Hey Mikey, did you ever think about what Splinter said tonight? I mean about what it would be like, you know, not having him?
But the most prevalent fear is one of loss. When Splinter is taken from them and Raphael is injured in battle, the Turtles retreat to the countryside with the help of April O'Neil and Casey Jones. You can feel the absolute sense of hopelessness as, for the first time in their lives, they don't have their master to guide them. They are just teenagers after all. And the one brother who was the most brash is paying the consequences for his actions. So how are the others supposed to be brave and carve a path of their own when even the most independent of them tried to and failed? The sense of absolute hopelessness and dread is something even the most tenured director would be jealous of. Yet this is a kids movie? Holy no wonder I turned out so up. Shock. I'm sure for many parents, showing their kids this in the early 90s, shock was the primary element. And it's not exactly surprising. Sure, the original Laird and Eastman comics were dark as hell and featured some really messed up stuff. but this was mostly what they were known for at the time. God, that song is a banger. Imagine taking your young child to the theater to see this, and suddenly this happens.
You got any cigarettes? Regular or menthol?
Hell, to be perfectly honest, when I was a kid, I thought he was holding playing cards. And shout out to Sam Rockwell in this very brief but memorable part. But a group of gang members bartering over the price of cigarettes was still pretty unreal. Hell, Disney puts whole warnings up before some of their streaming films if it features smoking. Oh, what a different time. A few scenes were as shocking as when Raphael bursts through the ceiling of April's apartment. Fire rages around them as Raphael is so beaten up that he has to be carried out. The strongest of the group is now the weakest. After seeing the turtles handle the foot with no problem in the beginning, they're now retreating, unable to actually defend themselves. It's a moment of pure hopelessness. Plus, I'm sure there were few people expecting the turtles to actually swear.
Damn!
Disgust. There's a certain griminess to the film that could probably fit well into this category. Everyone looks so sweaty, and the underlit shots add to the realism and dark aesthetic. But I still remember being absolutely gobsmacked when the turtles finally defeated Shredder. This wasn't some fantastical explosion. This man simply fell multiple stories into a garbage truck and was then promptly crushed to death. Or, well, seemingly. And the sound design as the countless young members of the Foot Clan wait and see who the victor is in this battle, essentially determining their own fate as well. They get away with so much here. Look at this shot. What at a glimpse appears to be blood is simply the chipping away paint on the garbage truck. But with that layer of grime that's present on everything, it's easy to mistake the two. For years, I remember thinking that we got a streak of blood afterwards, a la the bad guy in Temple of Doom. But I just made that up in my head. And it's because I was so f***ing shocked as a child as to what was happening that my brain simply inferred the rest, combining elements from an entirely different film. Or maybe I just confused it with this part of Child's Play 3. Who's to say? What Turtles does best is being able to follow up these dark moments with ones of levity. Even the crushing of Shredder is treated so blasé, with Casey Jones and his "oops." It softens the blow, but those darker moments that preceded it are able to sit and stew within the minds of young and impressionable viewers. Heck, I know it did with me. That's why I thought that there was blood in the garbage truck, for God's sakes. This is the part of the video where I get to humble brag that I was fortunate enough to talk to Turtle co-creator Kevin Eastman when he was promoting Mutant Mayhem. But sadly, I wasn't able to gush over this classic film, though I did score the sweet jacket out of the deal. Speaking of sweet merch,
before we continue with our video, here's a reminder to click the store tab on any of our Joe Blow channels and browse our collection of the latest and freshest designs in our merch store. Go get you some.
sadly, this era of Turtles is forever behind us. And as much as I'd love to get a dark and gritty Turtles again, I just don't see that. Wait, what's that? No way. Well, I take that back. We're gonna get a dark and gritty version of the Turtles that hopefully rivals this. And hopefully in the same way that us fans of the original cartoon were able to embrace the dark and gritty live action version, hopefully fans of Mutant Mayhem feel the same. God knows we need as many entry points into the world of the dark and depraved as possible. And as much as I defend Secret of the Ooze and even get some dumb enjoyment out of Turtles 3, there's no denying that they're inferior films to the original. Those moments of silliness don't break the tension of something darker, it's just to add to more silliness. Watching the other films would make me more likely to check out a Looney Tunes cartoon versus something on the more depressing side. But after watching Raphael stew in a bathtub near death, or Splinter hung up like a piece of meat, I had a desire for something darker, something more intense. So since I wasn't getting it from other stuff marketed towards me, I sought it out on my own. And what did I find? That I was only getting started. Because I know Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles may seem like an odd gateway into the world of horror, The important thing is getting there at all, because it's certainly a special place to be. What say you? Do you think that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles can serve as an entry into horror? What unexpected horror-adjacent title would you consider a gateway film? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.
Hello, everybody! Welcome back to another Friday Night Frights. I am, of course, your host, Tyler Nichols, and I'm really excited for this one because we've got a very fun show for you guys. If this is your first time, sit back, relax, and get ready to chat about some horror films. And I've already seen the chat. The chat knows what we're talking about. We're getting into The Strangers Chapter 1, and it's absolutely abysmal reaction. I am pretty much the only person that liked this movie, and I'm not really surprised. Slashers never get reviewed well. But we've also got an exclusive clip from the movie that Lionsgate sent over, and we're also going to go over my time at the red carpet premiere, because I actually was able to go out to LA to see this one. And we've also got, this is very exciting, this is our first ever giveaway. We're doing a giveaway of The Strangers. Not The Strangers Chapter 1 or The Strangers Pray at Night. This is the awesome Strangers set that came out, I don't know, a few years ago from Shout Factory. They did an absolutely fantastic job with this. You can see it right there. We got our little Strangers Blu-ray giveaway. And unfortunately, this will just be open for US and Canada because obviously we can't send it just anywhere in the world. But that's going to be something that we do at the end of the show. So make sure that you are, I don't know, aware of The Strangers, because I'm going to ask you guys a question, and then the first person to get it right will get the Blu-ray, which I made sure to choose something that is technically relevant to both Strangers Chapter 1 and The Strangers from 2008. So I'm excited for that. But we're not just talking Strangers, because that would, once to just talk Strangers. We're also going to briefly touch on I Saw the TV Glow, which released today. And we will also go over this wonderful 4K, because I'm not sure about you guys, but this is just one of the prettiest things I've ever seen in my life. It is so, I don't know. We're going to go over some of the screenshots from it. I got some screenshots from it, so I am very excited to talk about that. But the first thing that we have to discuss is a question that I left with you guys last time, which is who can be the next Freddy Krueger? Who should play Freddy Krueger in a new Nightmare on Elm Street? Now, I gave you guys 2 weeks to think about this, mostly because I thought that there would be, I don't know, it'd give you guys some good ideas, and it looks like there are a ton of really good ideas already in the chat. And so, we're going to go over, just to allow people to, I don't know, come in and formulate some ideas, maybe come up with some of their own as we go along. I have some for you guys. So, first up, I was very conscious of age with this. I think age is one of the most important aspects, because obviously the reason Robert Englund can't do it is because of age. And so, who would be able to actually fit that wonderful Robert Englund style? And I see it in the chat. First up, Kathleen Rodriguez. Richard Brake. I am right there with you. Richard Brake would be absolutely perfect for this. I mean, just look at him right there. Look at him. That is, can you really ask for much more? He looks like Freddy Krueger in that. If anything, that's where kind of the age thing does come into play of like maybe he's too old, but I don't know. I think he's pretty much one of the most perfect picks that you could ever have, and it's something that the whole horror world would absolutely love. And let's see what the next thing is. Caleb Landry Jones. Anyone? I feel like this is something that I remember seeing him in Nitram and just absolutely blew me away in that. And I guess in a similar way of like a Kyle Gallner kind of fits in the same role, which Kyle Gallner has already been in the Elm Street series, so not really a good reason to keep him along. Because I mean, I guess you can do that, victim to Freddy, but I don't fully agree. Banshee, yes, he was Banshee from X-Men First Class, and I am going to go over some of your guys' responses in a bit. My final one is a little outside the box. Dane DeHaan. Yes, Dane DeHaan, because I think that this is someone that they tried to push as more of a, I don't know, babyface actor, that now he's balding and he's just more of a character actor. And so I think he would fit perfectly in this. Like Dane DeHaan. That's pretty much my top choice. But Richard Brake, and the main thing with DeHaan too is he could play him for years. Like years. But I want to see what you guys came up with. So I already got the Richard Brake out, and I completely agree. Richard Brake would be fantastic. Let's see. John Fallon with Walton Goggins would make for a great Krueger. Yes. Agreed. Walton Goggins would absolutely make for a great Krueger. I know that he's kind of like the it boy right now just because of Fallout, but I'd say that it makes sense as to why he's the it boy, because I would want the same. He has such charisma, and he would fit in that role so well. But yeah, I hope to God we get to see him do something like that, just something similar. Then Chris Bumbray, Elijah Wood as Freddy. Goggins too powerfully built. Goggins is very scrawny though. I feel like Goggins, there's that scrawniness, which is what most of my picks were very much going with the scrawny. I feel like scrawny, but also you need someone that is just, I don't know, can take it to a really gross place, I guess. But you also need a thespian. One of the reasons that Krueger works and why Robert Englund makes it so good is that he is a thespian. He's not just... There's a reason that when Bob Shea tried to replace him on part 2, it didn't work, because they just tried to replace him with a random stuntman, and it didn't work in any way. Yes, that's Banshee. Wrong thing. David Harbour. Yes, I think David Harbour doesn't have the right build, but acting ability, I would say David Harbour makes sense. But yeah, in terms of build, my thing is I'm all about that build. Outside the box pick. Reed Scott as Freddy Krueger. Reed Scott. I am not sure of Reed Scott. Chat, want to help me out? Let me know who Reed Scott is. Henry Bowers from It Chapter 1. Is that who that pick was? He's very, I mean, I would like that actor. That'd be very good. And unknown, and I think you guys are right on the whole from Law and Order current. All right. Well, I'll have to look him up then. I like the outside the box picks. Maybe Robert Patrick. Maybe 30 years ago. Maybe 20 years ago, I guess. 30, we're pushing it into when England was still actually active. But yeah, we got some good picks here. I like it. I'm still really hoping that we at least see one of these people, because otherwise, what's even the point? But all right, let's get into it. As was pointed out in the chat, Tyler with the only positive review for The Strangers Chapter 1. And just as a reminder, we are doing a giveaway for the original Strangers, so make sure you stick around for the end of the stream. That's when we'll do that giveaway. But yeah, so I am pretty much one of the only positive reviews about this film, and it's... I don't understand why everyone seems to hate this movie so much. It's getting absolutely eviscerated. I guess I do understand it's a slasher movie, and the original Strangers is considered very smart and intelligent, and this is a slasher that then kind of doesn't go in the intelligent way. So I absolutely understand people in their, I don't know, distaste for it. But we're going to get into, let's see, let me share my screen real fast, because I want to make sure to show you guys my review of the film. So, I should say right now too, I watched this 3 different times. So I did not watch the first one. I did not watch it just one time and just formulate my opinion, because I feel like I was fortunate enough to have a screener, and then I got to see it with an audience. So I watched it twice, watched the screener twice, and then had my full audience experience. And I really like slashers. I feel like anyone that has been around the channel knows I run real slashers. My love for the slasher genre knows no bounds. I cannot say enough good things about just the structure of a slasher film, of how happy it makes me. So going into this, and I do also want to make sure to state that there will be no spoilers, though, as a little like caveat, it's a soft reboot of the original film. So if you've seen the first film, then like you've seen this movie. Oh, I'm gonna show that. You've seen the first movie. So in that way, I absolutely understand. I respect the ambition of making 3 back-to-back, but it feels like one long movie rather than Horizon, which 2 is legit. Yeah. Which absolutely, I think I'm not going to be able to get into massive spoilers for this, because I think there is something that people would not like about the ending of this film. But obviously, again, we're not getting into spoilers. There is, let's see, there's a comment that I want to bring up. Intelligence of the couple is a big criticism. So yes, that's one of my favorite things about the film, is that they set up that it's, what is it? It's Froy and Madeline are the actors' names, and they are Ryan and Maya. So Ryan and Maya are your typical teen couple, or young adult couple, I should say. And they kind of set it up where Maya is doing the smart horror things, and then Ryan is doing the stupid horror cliches. So because of that, it allows you to kind of dislike one character while rooting for the other. There's a moment where Maya grabs a shotgun when you think, like, are you kidding me? You're going to leave that shotgun? And then she goes back for it. There's things like that I really, really enjoyed. They do a good job with the kind of these diametrically opposing forces within being a couple. Because if you'll remember with the first film, it's really about Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman and their relationship being over. That's the massive element of it, that it's just over. They don't care about each other anymore. And this one, it's more of like, are these people right for each other? Which then, as it goes along and they're in these very intense situations, it comes across like, oh yeah, they do seem right for each other. I liked that. And also too, I feel like I'm just going to be defending, but also because I liked the movie, a lot of people didn't, so I feel like I need to then say why. This movie really reminds me of the film House of Wax, which, let's bring that up. IMDb. Let's bring up House of Wax. Because This is a film that it's really silly, and I wouldn't even call it a great movie, but it has some very fun elements. And that's kind of what this movie is to me. It's fun elements and good tension. They're able to essentially have all of this tension while keeping it fun. I think one of the issues with the original Strangers is that it's not exactly it's a harrowing experience. So it's a great film, but it's not a fun slasher. Which again, I understand why they wouldn't like that. Why they wouldn't like a slasher has different different parameters for what I would consider as good. And so with House of Wax, I'm like, yeah, I'm all about this. And this had such House of Wax vibes. But again, The Strangers is considered like a smart one. So, I mean, I get it in terms of when a series is considered smart and then you go this kind of dumb route. Yeah, it makes sense. Let's see. We got box office. Box office looking okay. It's not an expensive movie. If it makes 7 to 8 million, it's fine. And yes, I did see as well that Deadline says 1.2 million from previews. So yeah, I do think that this is a movie that's still going to make some money. I think that chances are they're going to probably change the strategy in terms of marketing, because I do think that how they released it is a little weird. But I mean, it's not going to be this incredible experience that I guess people were expecting it to be. When it first was announced, I'm like, yes, slasher trilogy, hell yeah! So I would like to see that continue, because I'm hearing that the sequels are even crazier, because this one is just a soft reboot. But I know it sounds like not many people in chat have seen the film, which understandable. Because of that, Lionsgate was nice enough to send over a clip from the film. I think it's one of the best tense scenes in the movie. It's Maya and Ryan. They are hiding from the strangers under the floorboard, and if it looks slightly weird, it's just because the mirror is imaged. We're trying to avoid copyright claims, stuff like that, which shouldn't happen since they gave us the clip. But you never know what goes on YouTube. So let's watch this clip. You guys can decide for yourself if it's something that looks interesting to you. I boosted the sound up a ton just so you guys are aware. I also kind of want you guys to feel the tension of the scene, so I might not talk a whole lot during it. Such a good shot. Look at that shot. Look at that shot. It's so much fun to watch with an audience. Imagine that with an audience. People are just freaking out. Like, this is why I go to a horror movie. Especially opening night crowd. Oh my God, it's so good. See, I don't know. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that it didn't do or isn't doing as well as I was hoping, because I quite enjoy. I don't know. I quite enjoyed it. Anyone in the chat did anyone actually see this film? Because it sounds like no one did. Let's see. Next chapter should be released September or October. Yes, you would think that they would do that. I mean, I'm hoping so. The fact that we don't know anything about the releases is insane to me. Why when, especially because this is a reboot, essentially, for all intents and purposes. This is a reboot. So you're not really introducing any new elements here, when a lot of because as I'll show you guys later, a lot of talking to the cast and filmmakers was about, you know, a new take and like different changes, and this is just a reboot. So I absolutely understand different people not it not working for them. But, and yes, I think they already filmed the other 2 chapters. Yes, they filmed all 3 of these back to back. And so, and I agree, Chris. So one of the reasons they make so much low budget horror is that it's hard to lose money that way with a big studio. Streaming/VOD is huge for horror, and a trilogy could make bank. Yes, absolutely. And I think the main thing that we'll see from this is just a marketing strategy change for chapter 2 and chapter 3. Because, I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but I really expected the chapter 1 to have a trailer for chapter 2 attached to it. So then the fact that it didn't felt very, very strange. Let's see. Does the sequel have super smart sharks? I hope so, because, and that's a great segue. We will move into.
Have you guys been able to see the movie?
Oh, I'm gonna mute that. This is my junket coverage. I was able to talk. I flew to LA, talked with the cast and crew about the film. You guys can see that on Joe Blow Celeb Interviews. It's a great channel. It has a bunch of my interviews up there, and they are always so much fun. Make sure to scan the QR code on the screen if you want to see that yourself. It is, I don't know, it was very much probably my favorite junket that I've done, because they just gave really good answers, but also they kept teasing the future films. That was a major aspect. They kept teasing stuff of the producer, Courtney Solomon. He actually had, he said that the best scene in the movie is a scene involving animals. There's no scene involving animals in the first film. So it's like, ooh, what's going on with the next one? This should be interesting. And it's also very cool because, like, this is Rennie Harlin's return to the genre, which, I mean, who doesn't love Rennie Harlin? When we're talking about the super smart sharks. Come on, Deep Blue Sea. I mean, and obviously Nightmare on Elm Street 4, he's just phenomenal. Yes. Can't believe the strangers couldn't scare you. I wonder, I hope maybe I'll be able to pull that. Yes. You guys can see my absurdly lame reaction to the strangers trying to scare me, as I'm just like looking around, treating it like it's a, what are those? Escape rooms. So yeah, I'm the lamest person in the world when it comes to a haunted house, as evidenced right here. Harlan's Prison was amazing. Oh, that's one I'm gonna have to check out, because I definitely have not seen that. Yeah, in terms of let's go over. Oh, and I guess that's one thing I should just get out of the way. I like the movie because I like the movie. It's not because got flown out anywhere. I don't give a shit about that. I literally did an interview today for a movie that I hated, and that's just kind of how things work. Like, I always very much, whenever you see a review or me say an opinion about a movie, it's very much from the heart. Very, very much. I don't care about stupid things like the studio wanting a good review, anything like that. I will absolutely always speak my mind. So just know that I definitely watched this and loved it because of its slasherness. If you don't like slashers, you're probably not going to like it. But I also want to bring up, because
Tyler Nichols from Joe Blow here.
Yeah, you guys can unfortunately hear me for a second. And here's another little clip from the red carpet. I wanted to make sure just to show you guys how the red carpet looked, because I thought it was very interesting how they had it set up. And you can't see the full question very well right there, but I asked everyone on the red carpet of if you could choose any scene from the Strangers trilogy to live on in horror infamy, what would it be? And there was a lot of really interesting responses. Rennie Harlan was great, and there was a producer that teased the ending of the second film as this the best scene in the trilogy. So I have a feeling I know how the second film is going to go, but we can't really talk about that because of spoilers. So we don't want to get into that. But yeah, in terms of the red carpet, everything itself, it was very cool. This was my first red carpet, so that was nice. I just want to know how. Well, you might find that out soon. You might find that out soon. I just want to know the music that is playing on the record. Been overthinking it for 3 days already. Well, we might get into all of that. Stay tuned. In terms of all of the different actors, everyone was very, very nice. Obviously, and just as a cool little aside, Madeline Petch was actually hired just as an actor on this, and then was brought on as a producer, executive producer, but she was in the mixing room and in the editing room for all of these. And I just have to say too, he's a little further back in this little video. Rennie Harlan. Madeline Petch was able to see Rennie Harlan's new Shark movie starring Aaron Eckhart. And apparently it's real fun. Real fun. So I am very much looking forward to that. We'll see how that goes. Oh, and also we'll see if you can see him. But Kel Mitchell has been trending on Twitter today for various reasons, and I was fortunate enough to be able to talk to him on the red carpet, where he then answered of his favorite horror movie being Nightmare on Elm Street. So cool little moments like that. Yeah, overall, the screening was very, very fun. I had a great time. Watching this with a crowd is just the coolest thing in the world. So, but yeah, let's move on from The Strangers, since we pretty much have covered that to exhaustion. I will say that you should definitely check it out in theaters. I think that it is such a fun time, and it's a crowd movie. You don't want to wait for streaming for this in any way. But let's get into our next thing, which is I Saw the TV Glow. Did anyone see this film? This was at Sundance earlier in the year. It's played at various festivals, and it released wide today. It's A24, and it is a strange movie. Very, very strange. In such a way that I really liked it, but a couple walked out 55 minutes into the movie. I haven't had anyone walk out of a movie since, I believe, Night Swim. So it's been a bit, and it's a very interesting film. It like a lot of A24 stuff, it really borders on horror, but it's one of those kinds of movies that you can really just, zone out and just enjoy the great narrative and very, very trippy visuals, because it's something else. I don't think I'm not a big fan of Justice Smith. He seems to be showing up in everything nowadays, but I mean, it's really Bridget Lundy Payne's movie. She was in Bill and Ted Face the Music. Hello, Brown Bag Special. How is it going? Did anyone see I Saw the TV Glow? Because if not, we will move on to the next thing, because I liked it. I think it's something that people should see more of, but I have a feeling it's going to be one of those films that just kind of falls off. What is the plot? Is it a spoiler? So the plot of the film is very, very kind of confusing. It's about it follows a boy as he grows up and his weird relationship with both this girl and a TV show. It's very sounds Lynch-like. Yes, it's very Lynch-like. This is from the same person that made We're All Going to the World's Fair. So just insane visuals. There's a moment where it's just like, what's her name? Phoebe Bridgers, the singer. She just like shows up out of nowhere, and it's like this, I don't know, 2-minute music sequence. Other than that, like the movie's fantastic. But let's move on. I don't think many people saw I Saw the TV Glow. I guess that makes sense. A24 stuff it's the kind of movie that it takes a little bit for it to come out. But now we've got some fun horror announcements to go over, because there have been, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but the upfronts were this week. So because of the upfronts, they made a bunch of announcements regarding different 2025 movie releases. So we're going to go over all of them. This is our fun little news segment. And just to remind you guys yet again, because I am so freaking excited about this, we got a Strangers giveaway. So make sure to check that out at the end of the stream, because I can't wait to give away the Shout Factory version of The Strangers, because I don't know if you guys are aware, but Shout Factory / Scream Factory does the best, the absolute best. So let's get into some horror announcements. First up, I Know What You Did Last Summer. This is like a reboot / legacy sequel, and there's not a whole lot of information out there about it. Any fans of the I Know What You Did Last Summer series in the chat? Because I think there's some interesting moments in that. Like, I own the first movie on 4K, which is kind of embarrassing, not gonna lie, but it has, like I told you guys, I'm a slasher guy, so I'm gonna own stupid shit like I Know What You Did Last Summer in 4K. And there's rumors that Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. are returning, but it hasn't been confirmed yet, so I guess we're gonna see. And then it's being directed by Jennifer Caton Robinson, which she did this movie called Do Revenge for Netflix. And so I've heard it's kind of cutesy, so that kind of worries me. But the biggest thing that worries me is that she wrote Thor: Love and Thunder. So yeah, not great. Not great. We'll see. I mean, they haven't announced anything except for the release date about this, and it comes out in 14 months. So I guess we're gonna see how it works. Oh, we already got people talking about it. Peak Jennifer Love Hewitt beauty. Agreed. She's an absolute beaut in that one. That's the only reason I would watch. What was that stupid show she did? Ghost Whisperer? I think that's what it was. Oh, God. Jen Love can spin in the rain anytime. Let's see a recreation of that scene, please. Recreation. Let's see it. Feel like it won't work in a modern setting. Cell phones. Cell phones immediately make it very complicated. Like, what are you going to do with cell phones? I don't know. And also, it's not like the Freddie Prinze Jr. character and the Jennifer Love Hewitt character are this, oh, I've been waiting for them to get together. No, fuck that. Next up is Insidious, which is, it just has a summer 2025 release, which it's also kind of confusing because they had previously announced a spin-off called Thread, and like it's supposed to be a spin-off. Thread, an Insidious Tale. It's supposed to already have been in production, and we're not hearing anything about it. They're saying, Deadline said that this isn't that, it's something else. So is it Insidious 6? Which Patrick Wilson directed Insidious 5, so maybe he's going to be doing that. Maybe. I'm not sure what the plan is in terms of that series, because what do you do? What do you do with it at this point? Like, I thought that the 5th one was pointless, but I guess if they're going to do another one, I would be curious to see if Patrick Wilson comes back, because he seems to love the franchise, so it would be interesting to see. And let's see, next up, Megan 2.0 on June 27th, 2025. Now, if anyone remembers this little show, it was called the I forgot it for a second. Modern Horror Movie Talk. We did it on the Arrow and the Head Show channel, and Lance Velchek and I covered this movie. We saw it in person together. We saw the first one, and I did not like it in any way whatsoever. It was not good. I got annoyed at all of the praise for it. It is so frustrating. It's such a piece of shit. And the fact that then once we got to the end of the year and I kept seeing people bring it up as like the best horror movie of the year, it's like, what? There was so many good horror films that were released last year. What do you mean? What do you mean? But I don't ever understand it. What is up, Metal Horror Fanatic? Love the name. Absolutely love the name. And yes, Megan Beyond sucked. I agree. That movie made me so mad. I don't. Also, it taught me the lesson too. It is hard to interview children. I interviewed the little girl, Violet McGraw, and I think I had 7 questions, and I think we went through them all in 90 seconds because it was just like super quick, super quick, super quick. Let's see. Never watched it, but it looked horrible. Child's Play ripoff. Yes. So that was why I got so annoyed about the film itself, because just in what was it, 2018, 2019, that the Child's Play reboot came out that everyone was up in arms about, that it's actually a pretty decent movie. Just the Child's Play stuff that it doesn't work. Once you take away the Child's Play stuff, it's like, yeah. But I don't know. We got fans of it in the chat. Megan worked because we are living in the age of AI. Which, yes, I've heard that they're really going into AI for the next film. That's a big portion, like part of it. And it's the same creative team that's returning. So Gerard Johnstone, who did this incredible film called Housebound. Make sure you check it out. It is so good. And it just works. Like, that movie is why I was looking forward to Megan, and then Megan sucking so much made me so disappointed. And Allison Williams and Violet McGraw are returning for the film, and then they're adding that Ivana Sakno from Ahsoka. She was incredible in Ahsoka, so I'm sure that she'll be good in this. I guess we'll see. They've just said she's in a major role. I don't understand why they made all of these announcements with very little information out about them. But next we have Black Phone 2. And I also want to highlight this. Kids are the dumbest people. Agreed. I enjoyed Megan somewhat, mainly because it was terrible, but it's not even close to the best of last year. I agree. I'm sure there's some way to be able to enjoy it in a so bad it's good way. I like the so bad it's good category, so like it makes sense. Hello, Christine Smith. Wow, I didn't know it was the Housebound director. That movie rocks. Yes. That's why I thought it was going to be so much better than it was, but it ended up just kind of sucking. But we're on to Black Phone 2 now. The entire cast is expected to return. Not sure how that'll work out. Scott Derrickson is also returning to direct, so I guess we're gonna see how it works out. I can't say I wasn't a big fan. Black Phone was fine. I thought it was a very singular story, so I'm curious where they're going to take it in a sequel. But Ethan Hawke was so good in that one. Oh my god. Oh my god. We have to go back real fast. I can't. This is too good. This is too good. When I see something that's this good, pause everything. Typing this out before I forget, but Freddy Krueger equals David Dastmalchian? How did I not think of that? How? Where's my horror card? I'm turning it in, because what in the world? That's incredible. David Dastmalchian. Yes. I'm all about that. Yes, please. I need that now. But yeah, let's get back to Black Phone 2. Let's see what you guys have to say. I enjoyed Black Phone, but what more could you really do with it, honestly? I mean, I will watch the sequel regardless. Agreed. And hello from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Well, hello from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Because I'm not in a cool place. That is a very nice thing to say. Well, we'll answer that right now. Huge fan of the channel, never change a thing about it. What horror film do you wish should have won Best Picture Oscar if it wasn't overlooked by the Academy? That is a fantastic question, and that's a very good question. Probably something simple like Halloween. Like the fact that Halloween, we constantly consider it a perfect horror film, at least. I mean, I say we, the grand we, like we definitely, there's a widespread just opinion that is a great horror film. So the fact that didn't get anything because of how much people hate horror, I mean, it's Halloween. It's Halloween. Absolutely Halloween. Then our last of the new horror announcements. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 on December 5th, 2025. And I should also say with Black Phone 2, it releasing in October, I mean, that'll be great numbers for it. Though I do wish, I kind of like more fun October horror movies. This is more of a depressing kids getting murdered horror movie. So, I mean, that's fine. It's whatever. But Five Nights at Freddy's, anyone, I mean, you guys have been around the channel, you guys know, I hated Five Nights at Freddy's so much. And this is a great way to bring it back to The Strangers Chapter 1, which, by the way, giveaway at the end of the episode for the Strangers Blu-ray. But I had such an issue with the lack of jump scares in Five Nights at Freddy's because it's what the whole franchise is. It's what those games are all about. Yet there's like, what, 2 jump scares in it, and they're not even set up well? What's the point? Meanwhile, good old Strangers Chapter 1, every jump scare is set up. Every single one. I love that. Because then you have the tension build and rise, and then boom, cuts out. Get that little, ease, relaxation. Then it ramps up again. It's like a roller coaster. Meanwhile, Five Nights at Freddy's didn't do that at all. Let's see. Five Nights at Freddy's was just too slow for me. I agree, Isaac Abraham. Absolutely agree. Then Justin Rigby says, I did not like it either, but my kid did. Yes. I should state, kids, it is meant for kids. Like, kids love this movie. My nephews, it's their favorite movie. So, but also, my favorite movie as a kid was Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. So, kids don't have great taste. Yes, I think Saw got pushed to next year too. Yes. So these announcements that I have, they're mostly just things that have happened in the last week. Saw X was announced a couple weeks ago, and yes, it did get pushed back a whole year, but I'm glad. I don't think the yearly horror thing is something that's needed anymore. At least that's how I feel. Five Nights at Freddy's wasn't bad for a streamer. Well, Nerd Cage, I guess I'll agree with you, but it got released. It got a theatrical release as well. So as much as it was like a streaming movie, if it goes streaming and theatrical, then I mean, I still consider it theatrical because it's still like, yeah, I would still think it's a theatrical release. I know what you did not do last summer. I assume that says don't give a shit about any of the movies in that series. Yeah, I get it. Though I will say, I still know what you did last summer. Such a dumb slasher movie where it's just like, yep, this person dies. Oh, another scene. Oh, I guess we're just going to see this person die. Oh, another scene. Guess we're just going to see this person die. I love that. And let's see. We got, sorry I was late. Bring this up. Sorry I was late. Is Strangers a recommend? It is for me. It is from me, but not from damn near anyone else in the world. I can't say that. I've talked to people that like the movie, but I'm just happen to be one of the only people that I know that likes it. Let's get into our other news portion because, yes, you can see right there, we've got something big that happened, which is that the Jason universe was announced. What is this? What are they? Why? What is going on right now? Do we need a universe for everything? Is that what's happening these days? All right, I'm going to pull up the Joe Blow article on it because I'm just curious about it. If it'll show up. Why is my thing not working? My thing doesn't want to share for some reason. Oh, that's weird. I don't know what's going on with that. My thing won't share. That doesn't matter. We don't need to. You guys don't need to see it anyway. We got the Jason universe thing. Okay. Oh yeah, and I like to see mixed reviews for strangers, but still want to see it. Love the original. Parade Night was fun. Recommend it. If you guys like me, go see it. I recommend it. In terms of the Jason universe, because I don't know about this one. I don't know. I guess a little bit of context. So for those that are unaware, the Friday the 13th franchise has been very wrapped up in a legal lawsuit between Victor Miller and Sean S. Cunningham. This was solved a couple years ago, or last year, and essentially what it means is that Victor Miller can make his own stuff and Sean Cunningham can make his own stuff, and they each have different elements, but they still mostly have the same elements. It's very strange. But because of that, there was a Friday the 13th game that got the short end of the stick. Because of that, there have been all these great fan creations, which then have been all cease and desisted in the last month because of this, the Jason universe. I guess we're gonna get more Jason stuff. I'll take that, with the quality of which I don't know about. Which I guess too, we can talk about the fact that first of all, is anyone excited about the Jason universe? I don't like that it's called the Jason universe. Maybe the Voorhees. I don't know. Just something about it seems very lame. Nick Fury, Jason, who just jumped into Bigger Lake. I mean, there's gonna be stupid shit. I almost guarantee it. They're probably gonna bring back other people in such an odd way, and I don't know. I'm not into this in any way. Also, the fact that it's being controlled. This is a Horror Inc. thing, which is Sean S. Cunningham, and for anyone that knows, Sean S. Cunningham doesn't really have the greatest, view of the series. Let's just be real. It's just, he doesn't. It's very lame, the kind of stuff that he's the reason we got Jason Goes to Hell. Like every stupid move in this franchise, it's because Sean S. Cunningham is like, I don't like what this franchise has become. I made a movie about a woman that was avenging her son. Fuck that shit. I want Jason murdering people. That's all. Just Jason murdering people. We talked about it a little bit 2 weeks ago. But now Fuller is off of the Crystal Lake TV show from A24, and I've seen people getting very up in arms about it. However, let me just say, the stuff that I'm hearing about his show doesn't sound good. It sounds like he's focusing mostly on Pamela, and that it's a great like performance for some actress that would want to take on that role. And there's like one episode that's supposed to be a full chase episode, which there's a lot of stuff where it's just like, it sounds so pretentious. Just give me fucking Friday the 13th. But I don't know. I'm not going to be into this Crystal Lake show, I think, regardless of what happens. It seems very cash grabby. Just make a movie or the TV show. Bring Kane back. We don't need a Marvel type universe for Jason. Agreed. Could not agree more. Then might try the Jason Blum Halloween approach and make a new trilogy. Yeah, I mean, there's ways to do it, but I don't know. I don't have much faith in it. And since my screen share is for some reason not working, I'm not going to show you guys the next thing, but we will talk about it briefly, because Cillian Murphy was just announced as returning for the 28 Years Later film, which I think a lot of us didn't expect. I mean, I know I was not thinking that he was going to come back. So awesome to see that he's actually returning to the franchise that really launched his career, because 28 Days Later was the film that suddenly put him on the map. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. Really, really looking forward to it. And let's get into it. Let's get into the lovely Crow. Ooh, it actually focuses and everything. How very nice. Awesome. So, The Crow 4K. Did anyone in chat get this wonderful, wonderful piece of media? I will say right now, I was not fortunate enough to get the nice little steel book that is on the left side, because obviously you guys saw it's just the standard, which I will say I was able to snag this from Amoeba Records in Hollywood, which is probably the greatest store in existence. Just saying. And it's really, they did a great job with this. I did an article on Joe Blow I was actually released on the 30th anniversary, going into detail about this. But the biggest thing about this release is not about new stuff. It's about the transfer. This transfer is just phenomenal. Look at the level of detail in these shots. It's all very crisp. We just recently saw the release of the James Cameron films with Aliens, True Lies, The Abyss. All of them had all of this DNR, and it looked weird. It's not to the point that, I mean, some people were very upset, especially about True Lies. I didn't really care with that. Aliens upset me because there was color timing change, like color temperature changes, which is insane. And it's incredible. There's a fantastic like documentary on it that goes into a little bit of detail. It's not anything insane. It's most of the information is out there, so you know what is going to be said. But I can't say enough things about the actual transfer for this film. There's a lot of times where it's like, oh, cool, they released this movie, but it doesn't really have anything with it. This is one of those times where it's just like, no, it doesn't even matter. It could have nothing else on it except for the Blu-ray or the 4K, and it would be worth it because it looks that good. I've only ever seen this movie on DVD and Blu-ray, and it's never looked right, ever. And none of these transfers have ever looked as pristine as this, but also not pristine in like a stupid way. Because sometimes, again, they can do a little too much with it. But, all right. Let's move on next to, we've got some fun stuff, because for those of you that are unaware, I help run the Joe Blow Horror Originals channel here on YouTube, which is what you're watching this on. And we had some fun stuff that released this week. Actually, some stuff that released today that I think you guys should really check out. First of which is remembering Roger Corman. Because yes, sadly, Roger Corman passed away. Andrew Hatfield did a fantastic job tributing Mr. Corman. I'm not a massive Corman, I don't know. I don't have a ton of Corman knowledge. So seeing this, it's just it's very much just teaches you things that you didn't even realize about him. Very sad to see him gone, but he lived such a long and fulfilling life. I mean, just absolutely incredible. Let's see. I see some people talking about the reboot of The Crow. Let's see, right for the reboot, original is perfect. Skarsgård looks like the Leto Joker. I agree. Movie soundtrack kicks absolute ass. Yes, agreed as well. All great points. All great points. How tragic that Lee died so young. I wonder what his career heights could have climbed to if he had lived. Agreed. He's the biggest what if in all of cinema. It's one of those things where it's sad to even watch the movie because you just reminded of that. I want the reboot to be fun. That's all I want. I'm always rooting for movies that people are kind of rooting against unfairly. So I will see it. I will try and see it with a very unbiased eye because I really like Skarsgård, but we're gonna see how this goes. Oh, Mr. John Fallon is pumped for the reboot. Love the trailer. See, there's people that like it. We'll see how it goes. Back to our Joe Blow original stuff. I want you guys to make sure you check out a video that just released probably 4 hours ago. What happened to Signs? This is finishing off our M. Night Shyamalan movies. We covered Sixth Sense and Village. Now this is kind of finishing off his early horror stuff. This was really fun to do. It really just, the level of detail that Shyamalan goes into with these things is very impressive. Mel Gibson said that he's one of 3 geniuses that he's ever worked with, so kind of shows just how much people really hold him in very high esteem. So, and then this upcoming week, we've got some very cool ones. Andrew Hatfield is covering Willard on Black Sheep. It's the remake with Crispin Glover. It's from Glenn Morgan. I think it's a very interesting film. And then we're covering Netflix's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I remember this having such a response when it came out. I'm so excited for you guys to see this one because there's stuff that I didn't even know about. I had no idea. I did not do this video, and it was very fun to be able to watch these things. So make sure you check those out because, again, it's just great. And we are getting to the end of the show. So that means it's giveaway time. Are you guys ready for this giveaway? Are you guys ready to potentially get your own strangers from Shout Factory? Because you're going to need to answer a nice little question for me. That question is... Oh, I'm going to take myself off so you guys can read that a little better. Both Maya from The Strangers Chapter 1 and Kristen, that's Liv Tyler from The Strangers, play a song on the record player. What is the song being played? Yes. And you'll notice someone in chat actually mentioned this earlier, which I think is hilarious. Maybe I'll put myself in the little... Wait, can I put myself in the corner? Oh, I can't. We'll just leave it like that so you guys can see. Because, obviously, you guys need to see that, and yeah. So, what's the song playing on the record player? Oh, and look at that. We've got an answer. Hell yeah. That was much faster than I thought it would be. So, it is Sprout and the Bean by Joanna Newsom. Yes. Random Hagile? I don't know it. But Random, you're our winner. You're the first ever winner of the Joe Blow giveaway. So you're gonna get strangers sent over to you. Now you're probably wondering, how on earth do I do that? Well, you just need to make sure to email me over at tylernicholswrites@gmail.com. Make sure, and we'll do a little thing and you'll prove your identity, all that fun stuff, and that'll be what we do, and you'll get a nice little copy of The Strangers. That's very fun. I did not expect someone to get it so quickly, but I'm not surprised because you clearly were on top of things. And yes, this song plays in both the original and the new one, and I will just say it's a very weird moment in the new one. Oh, I don't want that up yet. Whoopsies. Let's see. Chat. Oh, no worries. Type too fast, forgot that the is not the important aspect of it. You absolutely nailed it. I remembered the record player, but not the song. Yeah, I actually had to look it up for this. As soon as I watched the first one, I wasn't able to get that song out of my head, so it was very cool to see it pop up again. And it's really it's fun. It's a good time. It's a very weird song, but I think it fits the vibe of The Strangers very, very well. So yes, make sure Random Hagile. Also, in the email, tell me how to pronounce your name so that I can get it right in 2 weeks when I have to say it. Hopefully I'll be able to get a photo, show you with it and all that. But yeah, we've done it. We've done another Friday Night Frights. This has been so much fun. You guys can look and see it, our awesome little comments from various amazing filmmakers that have said different things about Joe Blow over the years. And yeah, we've talked about everything that we could talk about. Let's see. Thank you. Tyler's stream has been totally kick-ass. Hell yeah. Thank you so much. How can you hate Megan but appreciate M. Night Shyamalan? Dude, I love M. Night Shyamalan. Anyone that's watched the channel should know I love me a twist, and Shyamalan loves some twists. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, my horror fanatic. First one, I'll tune in every Friday. Tyler's the man. Thank you so much. Yes, you can. I will be here every other Friday. So I'll be back here in 2 weeks. Make sure you tune in next Friday to the Joe Blow Original stream because they have a blast over there. Kier Gomes is awesome. And I did it last time. We're doing it again. I've got a question for you guys because you guys kicked ass the last time. David Dasmelchian is just, I'm so upset I didn't think of it myself. But I've got a question for you guys that I'm going to take myself off the screen in a bit and ask you. So thank you guys so much for joining. This has been an absolute blast. Oh wait, now that I think about it, I actually thought this one through a little bit so that it's not right in my face. So, what horror franchise would you like to see return from the dead? This can be anything. I would say the main rule is nothing in the last 10 years. Because the last 10 years is where we've seen the legacy sequel really, become a thing. So I want to know, what horror franchise would you like to see return from the dead? I will give you my own pick. I've got a couple, so we'll talk about that at the beginning of the next episode. And yeah, I'm really excited for it. So thank you guys so much for watching the stream. This has been a blast. And yeah, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Goodbye.